Hey guys, how's it going? My name is AsOiXX, and today we're going to be discussing what makes Rising Storm 2 Vietnam any different from its predecessors. In my opinion, the Vietnam era alone constitutes buying this game, especially because of the realistic damage model. The realistic gameplay of Red Orchestra and the great time period of Vietnam is going to be an absolute hit, and you can even see that by the closed beta footage now. And that brings me to my next point, maps. Maps are just going to be so much more different than the old Red Orchestra games and what we're used to. The dense jungle will offer such a different experience, and that's why I believe this will be a hit. Let's also not forget now that they expanded these maps massively for the inclusion of helicopters that we all thought were going to be on rails and just not what anybody really wanted. It came as a surprise to many of us that they even managed to pull this off for being such a small studio. Nobody really expected this, and everyone was surprised at PAX, and it was great. I loved it. I'm very happy with the inclusion of helicopters. Moving on next to command and squad abilities. They added a few on both the American side and the Vietnamese. For example, on the Vietnamese side, you have a SAM missile, which will now take down pretty much any aircraft if they're not flying low enough. We also have squad abilities. There's a tunnel feature where you can use it as a mobile spawn point instead of on you, which is nice. It kind of reminds me of Squad's rally system, but it does the job. And of course, we have napalm and the spooky gunship. What is not to love about both of those? A spooky gunship is pretty much an AC-130 of the Vietnam era. Of course, we have the old command abilities such as force respawn, artillery on both sides, but I believe these squad abilities are a very welcomed addition to the old ones. I always felt there was something a little lacking. Just having 3 types of artillery really isn't that interesting to me, and this hopefully changes up the playing field. One new feature that I really cannot seem to get over about is character customization. Antimatter Games was just a bunch of modders pretty much put into a studio, and I can't believe they honestly managed to pull it off. That and helicopters, it seems like a dream. It's what people have been asking for so long. And this isn't like no tiny customization. It's something good to make your own character. For example, you get separate helmets, you get headbands, you can put on the fucking cavalry hat. You have the traditional Viet Cong hats, with the, I don't know what it's called. It looks like a fucking bamboo hat, I guess you would call it. And I absolutely love the fact that you can actually customize your US soldiers' helmets. That was a big thing during the time period. People put smokes in there, people wrote stuff, people put ironic things such as putting peace. I know some people weren't for the war, so they had peace symbols and, no war and this kind of stuff. And they were just drafted and they had to go. But it adds more personalization to your character. It makes it kind of like you want him to stay alive longer. And that's something I really like. I like it so everyone doesn't look the exact same and like they did in the old games. The only way you'd ever look different is if you got, I can't remember, I think it was like level 80. And you would get certain perks, like 1% stamina and all that kind of stuff, or something around those lines. But this actually makes me feel like I'm in the area. People look different, and it's such a welcomed addition. And I hope it's here to stay, to be real. Just a few odds and ends things, miscellaneous kind of things. When you fire, now recoil does look a little bit different. It looks a little bit more real, and I welcome it. There is a few other changes, such as the fact that you can just hip fire some weapons. For example, like the AKMS, I don't think it's called that in game, but you can fold the stock, or the grease gun, you can just hip fire it without actually having to aim in. And it's different than normal hip firing. It's kind of like you aim in focus, but you are still hip firing for that close quarters combat kind of thing. The whole reason why you want to put the stock down. And along with the Vietnam era, we obviously have the M16 and the AK variants that the Viet Cong used and the Vietnamese army. Also, a little known fact about these weapons. I don't know if some people haven't noticed this, but you can actually, instead of taking 8 20-round mags, you can take, I believe it's 4 30-round mags. So the drawback is you get less ammo, overall, but you get more ammo in your magazines. Life expectancy in this game is really not that long, but if you do manage to live long, the 820 round magazines would be much more beneficial to you, apparently, because you can stay alive. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked the video, press that like button. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. If you fucking hated the videos, just click the dislike button. I plan to be putting out more Rising Storm 2 videos, so I am really interested in the game, and once I get that beta, I am going to go ahead and upload some footage, make some funny moment montages, and that's the plan. So I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace.